Hey everybody, welcome on to Geek Perspective. On today's episode number 2, we are discussing Comic Cons, Black Superheroes, Vic Mignogna, whatever the hell his name is, and Indy Comics. So let's get into this. How's everybody doing today?
I'm doing
I'm
good.
sleepy.
Sleepy?
I work today.
Where'd you work? At work?
I went to work.
I didn't work today. I've been on vacation. How about you, Tom? What you been up to?
Just working a lot, man. And yeah, that's about it, man. That's my life, working this. So
So Tom's been living the dream.
always, man.
I bought some new pops.
Oh, did you? What'd you buy?
Did I bought the Flash.
Nice.
I bought Infinity Wars SpiderMan,
Very cool.
and I bought an Arrow.
Very cool.
Yeah, I was on Amazon. I had to buy something anyway,
Yeah.
and to get it the next day, I had to actually spend $35. So I'm like, I really wanted the pot for today.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, if I get it now, this was 2 days ago. If I get it on Friday, I can hook everything up, and we'd be ready in a new studio. New studio. So I was like, oh, I'll buy something. And then I saw it had to be certain items on Amazon. I don't know if you guys shop on Amazon.
yeah.
Certain items. So I ended up buying. I saw the pops were a part of that deal.
Mhm.
So I was like, whoa, let's see what we get for pops. And I saw these three. They were kind of a little cheap. They were like less than $10, I think, each. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy some pops.
See, I showed restraint. I only bought one pop this week. I got the Ash pop from Overwatch.
Ash from Overwatch. I thought it was Ash from the Evil Dead.
I have a bunch of the Ash from Evil Deads.
A bunch?
Yeah, because they make variants of them. So I have one that's bloody. I have one that's from the movies, and then I have one from Ash versus the Evil Dead, the TV show that was on Stars a couple years ago.
So, and I'm pretty sure I asked you guys this last episode. So, for you to have the set, do you have to have each Ash? Do you have to have the bloody Ash, the regular Ash, and whatever ones that are on the box, or just what's on the box?
It depends who you talk to. Technically, a set would be the ones on the box, and then they release exclusives separately, like the bloody one and stuff. But it depends what kind of collector you are. If you're a more hardcore collector or a completist, yes, then for the collection, you would want all of them. If you're just more of a casual collector and you just want to you want to say you have the whole collection, then just go buy off the back of the box, and you know what I mean? That's the best bet.
Or you could just pick your favorite.
Yeah, that's what I do. You know, I don't have very many complete sets. I just go for ones that I really like. Like I just picked up, I found a guy selling the Rubber Man from American Horror Story really cheap. It's
that's cool.
Yeah, it's a vaulted pop, you know what I mean? Like I've kind of gone that way now. I started buying like more of like the vaulted and hard to find ones, and
the vaulted are the ones that aren't being made anymore, correct?
Yes. When they're vaulted, they stop being made, and that usually means that they go up in value depending on demand. You know, not all of them, because obviously you have some that, you know, for the past 10 years have been $3 or whatever it is, but. Yeah.
Well, I bought a couple of the Star Wars ones around Christmas. I bought from the Solo movie, ironically, which we're discussing today.
Yes.
I bought Han Solo and the Lando Calrissian. They were like $4 a piece. I was like, come on. I know it's the holiday season. I had finished my Christmas shopping. I'm buying some pops. So I bought them.
Very nice. Before we move off from pops, I just want to make one sort of clarification correction from last episode. I noticed it when I was watching the episode, and you guys will notice this as you get to know me, the viewers and listeners, that sometimes when I get talking really fast, or I get up in my head and I might leave out words. And we were talking about Stashopedia and Pops Price Guide, the two apps or sites that you can go to check your value of your pops. And I believe I had said that Stashopedia, you know, as soon as it's or Pops Price Guide, as soon as it sells, that's the value of what it is on the Pops Price Guide. I forgot to leave out most times. It doesn't always mean, so it could sell for 40, but it might only be 38. So it goes by the selling, but it doesn't mean that last sale is exactly what the price is. Just want to make that clarification. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because when I've been on there and I've been looking at, because I go on the Pop Price Guide.
Yeah.
And when you click on a pop, and you go to that pop, and you can actually see how that pop's been selling.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you can see like different prices and the lowest price, and it goes up to the highest price. So it can give you an idea of what it's worth. So I mean, you weren't totally wrong because like you're in that range, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I had left out the word. Like as soon as I watched back our episode, I was like, "Ooh, I better make an edit on that because some of these hardcore collectors are gonna notice that right away," you know. And like I said, it's not the first mistake I'll make, and it's not gonna be the last, you know. But
well, you know what? If there are any hardcore collectors out there, leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think. What are your opinions? What pops are you collecting? Tell us. We want to know.
Yes, please. Please do.
Right, Derek?
Yeah, we can compare our collections and stuff.
I'm getting up there now. I'm not up with you professionals yet, but I have 9 or 10.
I'm officially out of room in my room for these.
Yeah, I've started to sell some because I have like 200 and something. And yeah, I don't have room.
When we get 100 subscribers, we should give one away.
Yes, that I have
at 100 subscribers.
Yeah, I've already been thinking. I have a bunch of pops that are the really cool vaulted rare stuff, and when we hit milestones, you know, I figured we would give them out. So 100's good, and then maybe again a 500 and 1,000.
Little mount. No, nobody wants a mount. No, all right, I'll use both. All right, guys. So let's get on with the show here.
Yep.
So Tom, first topic is going to be Comic-Cons, and Mr. Tom had some information for everybody. You're on it, Tom.
All right, guys. Well, like I said in the first episode, I'd be covering a multitude of things, and I'm going to just talk to you about what Comic-Cons that Altered Reality is the company that the three of us work for at Rhode Island Comic-Con when we volunteer each year. And they have 4 cons going on this year so far. And I'm going to talk about others, but we're going to focus more on Altered Reality right now because we work with them. So the first one coming up this year, coming up soon, really, April 12th through the 14th, is Empire State Comic-Con. It's up in Albany. It's at the Albany Capitol Center in Albany, New York, the capital of New York. And they haven't announced a lot of guests yet, but they have 2 headliners so far. So they got David Mizzou from Gotham. He plays Bruce Wayne in Gotham. He's there Saturday and Sunday only. And he does Rhode Island a lot. So, and then the other headliner is Robert Patrick from T2, True Blood, The X-Files. And then the guest that they have announced that's not technically a headliner is Blake Foster, who is the Blue Ranger in Power Rangers Turbo and Power Rangers in Space. So
it's funny. Our convention, Rhode Island and Altered Reality, they have a good relationship with the Rangers, or what it's called, because they come to our shows, or the shows. We're not affiliated with Rhode Island Comic Con, but we just volunteer for them. But they seem to come to the shows every year. They're very, very popular.
Yeah,
at the shows. So I don't know. They seem to like
year
coming.
we probably get 2 to 5.
Yeah, every year.
I think one year we had all the original ones at one point.
Yes, yes. I remember seeing the group of them walking around together, just walking around, having fun, enjoying the con. And they're very approachable, too. They're very approachable people, very nice people. But anyway, I'm done babbling. Back to you, Tom.
So, yeah, so that's what I got on Empire State Comic-Con so far. And as they announce more, obviously, I will bring you more information on that's pretty much what they have announced so far. And now you can expect a bunch to be happening in these next month and 2 months now, because like I said, it's in April and we're already midway through February. So they're going to start announcing a bunch of names. So, yeah, if you're in New York, check out Empire State Comic-Con, April 12th through the 14th. And then the next con we got going on is the Epic Comic Con in Atlantic City, New Jersey. So, and that is from June 21st through June 23rd. And now they have a good amount of guests here. They have Bam Margera from Jackass. They have Brian O'Halloran from Clerks and Clerks 2 and Mallrats, one of my favorites.
Great movie.
Yes, love it. Brittany Karbowski from Soul Eater, Attack on Titan. Not too familiar with her.
Those are animes. She's a voice actress.
All right. Then we got David Yost. He's I believe he was the original Blue Ranger.
Yep.
And then we
something else, because that name sounds extremely familiar to me.
I'm not sure. I can look real quick.
The last name Yost just sounds very familiar for some reason. I don't know why. No reason for it, but it does.
Yeah, I'll look it up in a minute, and then I'll get back to that. Then you also
look it up. Well, let her do something.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll participate in this group activity.
So then we got Jason David Frank. He was the Ranger, right?
He is so popular.
He is.
I'll tell you, and Tom, you know this. We talked about this at Rhode Island last year. He is so popular.
Yes.
But yet, he's like the nicest guy you'd meet. And I can't tell you guys enough. Like, if you ever think about going to a Comic-Con, go, because some of the actors and actresses that come to these shows, you know, you can hear a few bad things about them, blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you, they are the nicest people. They really, really are.
Agreed, 100%. Very nice guy, very down to earth. Every year that I believe he's been there every year that I've been volunteering at Rhode Island, and he's always got one of the longest lines, but he always out there all day long signing. And just a really good guy, really good to everybody. If you're a fan of Power Rangers and you're going to a con, I really suggest you go up and get his autograph and talk to him. He's a really nice guy. After that, we also have J. Michael Tatum. He's from My Hero Academia. Is that how you say it?
Yep.
Okay. Another anime.
That is one of the hottest animes out right now. We're waiting for season 4.
Yeah, I know that's super popular. Just even in Pops right now, they've released a bunch of My Hero Academia Pops right now, and just huge. Everybody's going nuts. I don't get it. I'm not into anime, but yeah, people are going nuts over it. So he'll be there. Oh, then one of my favorites, Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk, is going to be there. And lastly, we got Monica Rial. She's from Dragon Ball Z, My Hero Academia, and Soul Eater. So that's all that we have announced for Epic Comic Con. Now, again, in the next couple months, you're going to see a lot more people added and stuff because it's in June, so it's coming. It's right around the corner. So expect more news, like all of them. I will, in the next episodes, and every time, I will keep you updated on the latest news for those. So then the next one is the Colorado Springs Comic-Con. That's August 23rd through the August 25th. And it's in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And first guest, and Roy knows this guy really well, is Brett Spiner.
Oh,
What's that?
good old Brett.
Now, you work with Brett, right?
Yep.
Nice guy?
Very nice guy. Very very down to earth. Very approachable. Someone that like the fans would talk to, and he would just sit there and converse with them. Very, very awesome dude.
Very cool. So then at this one, now you're going to start to see a little overlap now because this is all by Ultra Reality Entertainment. We got some more Power Rangers. We got David Yost, again, the blue Power Ranger. And then we have, again, at this one, we have J. Michael Tatum from My Hero Academia. And then the last one that's been announced so far is Lance Henriksen. He's from Alien, Terminator, and Pumpkinhead.
Pumpkinhead's a good movie.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I like all of them. I like Alien and Terminator. I thought they were all pretty good movies.
I like the older Terminators. I wasn't crazy about the last couple.
Oh, I don't really count those part of the the lineage of Terminators. You know, I'm a T1 and T2 guy.
Do they have pops from them movies?
That's a good question. That is a really good question.
I do. I'm the question guy. Bada bing, bada boom.
Wait till we get to your topic and I stump you.
I'm checking right now.
Black Hair and Black History Month. What are you doing?
So then the last okay. I don't know if they have it doesn't let's see here. Okay, so I'll get back to that. So the last one
Pause for 1 minute.
Okay.
Here's the other thing also if you wanted to do well, they really can't do it on this. I was just thinking that what me and Derek were talking about editing the show.
Yeah.
And there's really no way to edit during this. That's the weird thing. There's no.
What's the part of the live?
Was that?
That's what live means. You can't edit that.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if we had like a fourth person to like sit here and like take notes when we wanted to edit, like probably this part.
If they had like a stopwatch or something. Yeah. But so far, I think the only thing to edit would be like this part when he was looking at something on the computer, which I don't know how long it's been. We should do a stopwatch or something. If you guys could think of it, remind me next week to make sure there's a watch or a clock down here.
Okay.
And then we should get like someone to explain to me why I can't strip something off of YouTube, edit it, but not change any of the things except the length and not upload it
unless
back.
We had to have a paid thing or something. I mean, like you were right, it should have worked, you know. Okay, so while Tom's looking at that, we can.
I'm done looking. I was gonna go into the last Comic-Con whenever you guys are ready.
Do it on 3. 1, 2, 3. You're on.
All right. So, in the last Comic-Con that Ultra Reality is putting out, producing, and is in 2019 is Rhode Island Comic-Con, which all three of us work for. Great Comic-Con, a lot of fun. So this year is November 1st through November 3rd. And so far, they haven't announced a lot yet because we are a ways out. I mean, it's in November, and usually it picks up in June through October. You're going to see a bunch of names drop, and then a few days before, you'll see even more names drop. These guys can attest to it. Rhode Island Comic-Con is very much about bringing in the celebrities. It's going that way more so than it's more about meeting the celebrities and everything than actual vendors and Comic-Cons. Now, that's not to say there's not a lot of vendors, because there is a lot of vendors, but the main focus seems to be celebrities. At the last few Comic-Cons, each year they bring in a lot. Each year they bring in more and more, and they always have a great selection. So the ones that are announced so far, and we've talked about him last week, is John Barrowman from Arrow, Doctor Who, and Torchwood. And the only other one that's been announced is Lucy Pole. She's going to be in the Overwatch movie. She was in Red Dwarf, and she was in Fantastic Beasts. And yeah, that's who's been announced for Rhode Island. Like I said, more will be announced, and as more are announced, I'll bring more info to you on these Comic-Cons. Now, I was going to briefly just talk a little more about con. Do you guys want to say anything about Rhode Island before we?
Well, I was just going to say, it's amazing because I've been looking stuff up this week. Also, I've been looking at stuff, and so much has been added since I've looked. Like, if you're a fan of the shows, tune into our channel because we're going to keep people up to date. But if you're on the fly, go to the website and check it out. You know, it's RhodeIslandComicCon.com. And but I think it's easier for y'all just to come here, listen to our show, and we'll keep you up to date. That's all I want to say. Bada bing, bada boom. You're up, Tony.
Agreed. So, yeah. So I said I was going to talk about in the previous episode more cons and or like all the cons that are going on, and we realized that there's just way too many. I mean, I have 4 pages of notes on just cons that are happening in February alone,
and some of them just really sucked.
Yeah. So what you guys, and we're now. These cons are much smaller. Some are only a day. Some are 2 days. You might some might be 3, but usually they're a day or 2 days, and they're more localized. If they have any celebrities, it's usually somebody that's more a regional celebrity. Like we have a few in Rhode Island, Southern Mass, like Terrificon in Connecticut and WonderCon. And, you know, they might have, you know, some celebrities, but these are much more geared towards the vendors. And you can find really, if you're like a hardcore collector or looking for some, you know, some grails or whatever, these are really good cons to go to because it's more about the vendor, and these, you know, these vendors come in and they bring their rare comics and you can get a lot. So, like I said, I have 4 pages of notes on them. So, what we can we pause for a second?
Yep.
All right.
We can pause. Who do you want, Tom?
I was thinking, because there's so many cons, should I just give them the website name? You know what I mean? Like if they want to look like the websites that we're using.
I wouldn't even go over all of them if you don't want. It's up to you.
I was really not even gonna, like, I mean, I can talk about them, but I mean, there's just so many.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too is, like, if you talk about every single convention, you're going to be talking about the same type of conventions every month, every episode, or something like that.
If there's not a major con, pick a couple small ones that you think look pretty good and just talk about those 2.
Okay. All right. I got it then. So, all right. Tell me when we're
watching live, everybody. That's why you watch us live.
All right. So, yeah. So there's a lot of cons going on, guys. If you do a Google search, you can always look them up to see what's going on in your area. Now, 2 of the other ones that I going to talk about is there's the Hudson Valley Comic-Con, and that's in New York. It's in Poughkeepsie, New York, and it's May 11th and 12th, and not a ton has been people have been announced yet, but there is. I saw this came across my computer as I was doing the research. That show, All That, from, I believe, Nickelodeon. You guys remember that show?
What show?
All That?
It was basically the kids' version of Mad TV.
Yes.
Or SNL.
Yep.
They're doing a reunion at the Hudson Valley Comic-Con. So,
you remember the song?
No, I don't.
Come on.
This is All That.
I never watched the show. I remember it, but I've never watched it.
Okay.
was a good show.
Yeah, so at the Hudson Valley Comic-Con, May 11th and 12th, all that reunions for some of our younger listeners and viewers. If you were a fan of all that, go check it out.
Or if you are all that, you'll want to definitely check it out.
Agreed. And the other one I would talk about, again, in New York, it's called the Rochester Winter Parafest. It's a horror con. And the reason I want to talk about it is because I love horror. So does Roy. And
Roy is a paranormal investigator, by the way.
Yes. And which remind me after the episode, I need to talk to you about something paranormal. So yes, so the Rochester Winter Parafest, it's in Geneseo, New York. It's this month, February 23rd and 24th. And it's a horror con. And I'm a huge fan of horror, and horror cons are a great time because the cosplaying is usually good, really good. To my knowledge, like I could not get too much information on it, but I believe they have announced Kane Hodder.
Kane is the man.
Yeah, and oh god, I'm drawing a blank on his the newer Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, guy, right? No, I'll think of it as we go on.
Face, but I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I can't. I'll think of it. It's right on the tip of my tongue. So those are the two that are now announced so far. It said stay tuned for more. So maybe they're going to announce some last minute ones because it is coming up. It's already February 9th. So yeah, if they announce if or when they announce more, I will definitely let you guys know. So yeah, so that's all I got to say about cons this week, guys. Now, if you have any questions or anything, please leave a comment like Roy said earlier. I will gladly answer them. And if you're looking for a more localized con for yourself, just do a Google search because, like I said, there's at all times there's tons of cons going on, small and big, and yeah, like I said, 4 pages of just February. If I went through the whole year, I could make a novel. So yeah, so that's what I have to say about Comic-Cons.
Is that all you have to say?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, our next topic, being that it's Black History Month, if you didn't know, is we're going to be discussing Black superheroes. What? Black superheroes? Yes, they do exist. And I actually did some research on this, and I know, why is the black guy doing this? I know. The white guy doing it. But anyway, that's another story. But I couldn't name 10 black superheroes. Couldn't do it. Now, can you guys name 10 black superheroes? Derek?
Between everybody on the show, I hope we could. But we have Black Lightning.
Yep.
Currently a TV show on the CW.
Yep.
Black Panther.
Yep.
Luke Cage.
Yep.
Static Shock.
Yeah, he's got my notes.
Hey, Static Shock was the shit on Saturday morning cartoons.
See, I hated Static Shock, but anyway, we'll discuss that in a minute.
Yeah, at least I got 4.
Yeah, that's more than I got. How about you, Tom?
Then we got Spawn. We have Green Lantern and War Machine.
Yep. And before anybody asks, there were at least two Green Lanterns.
Yes. Well, we already said Black Panther. Well, go ahead.
Let's not forget Blade again.
Blade, yes, Blade. Thank you.
Blade.
We said Luke Cage, Power Man, Falcon is a black superhero.
He was the one I couldn't think of.
Storm.
Yeah, Storm is the best. But we'll discuss that.
That would have been bad if
I
forgot her.
All right. So you guys are blacker than I am. All right. You win.
Lion Man. Lion Man was a black superhero.
Oh yeah. Oh, I got a whole thing about Lion Man. You wait, you bunch of racists. No, but I'm gonna come down. It's in no particular order. This list comes from Newsarama, and they did top 10 game-changing black superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured we go over them. And if you guys have any input about each character, feel free to jump in. And the first one is Spawn, aka Al Simmons. He was from Image Comics, which, as big as Spawn was, this comic and movie adaptation was one of the biggest things in the 90s. This was a huge comic book, huge sales. It was the first black superhero to have a headlining movie for himself. And it actually beat Blade by 1 year. So people go, no, what about Blade? No, it beat Blade by 1 year. And one thing that was really cool is I said it was Image Comics. It wasn't DC. It wasn't Marvel. It was Image Comics. So this is a totally different comic group, which I found pretty cool. And I love Spawn. Do you guys see the Spawn movie?
Yes.
I remember Spawn.
Yes.
At the time, it was a great movie. It's dated. It's not, in my opinion, great now.
No.
But I wish to God they would do a new Spawn movie and do it the right way. It could be a badass thing. It could be another whole franchise.
That would be awesome.
Marvel or DC, it might never happen. But then we have Captain Marvel, Spectrum, aka Monica Rambeau, Marvel, obviously. And she was the successor to the first Captain Marvel, and she was an Avenger, which I never knew, by the way. Did not know she was an Avenger. And she was actually a team leader for years. And her mother, in the comic book, Maria Rambeau, is actually playing a key role in the upcoming Marvel movie. And she plays a fighter pilot, her mother, a fighter pilot called Photon. And that character is played by Latasha Lynch. So check it out when it comes out. And you have a little props to the second Captain Marvel. Black. And then number 3, which we've already discussed, the Green Lantern, a.k.a. John Stewart. And they bunched also War Machine. And they did this because these were 2 characters that actually changed the game with actual spin-off characters. So while they took over for a certain hero, they actually spun off into their own thing, which was pretty awesome. And Stewart, if you're a comic book fan, you know, was selected to the Guardians to be Hal Jordan's replacement as Green Lantern. And James Rhodes, he was Tony Stark's hand-picked successor when he temporarily retired for a while. So that was pretty badass. Two pretty cool characters, in my opinion. And then we have Derek's favorite superhero of all time, Static, or Static Shock, a.k.a. Virgil Hawkins. You want to hear anything about your favorite superhero?
It's been forever since I've seen an episode of Static Shock.
Because it sucked. Nobody watched Static Shock.
But when they announced Black Lightning on the CW, I actually had to ask my friend, since he reads all the comics and everything, and he's more knowledgeable than I am. If I actually had asked him if Black Lightning was like Static Shock adult.
Right.
Which I know now it isn't. Surprise.
Well, how you doing? And reason why Static Shock sucked, it was also because it was from Milestone Comics. You guys know what Milestone Comics even is?
Nope.
Yeah.
I mean,
did they have a Milestone?
Yeah. It was a comic.
Was that Tom?
It wasn't it a comic book company that dealt with like black superheroes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a comic book which I never heard of them, but they had black creators, and the total emphasis was on black superheroes.
Yes.
With all the heroes in this Milestone Comics, they were all black. And that's why it didn't last. But anyway, number 5, Luke Cage, which was a really good Netflix TV show, by the way. I hated the comic, but the TV show was really good. And if somehow you don't know who Luke Cage was, he was a superhero that was pretty much unbeatable. He was picture a black Superman. Did he really have a weakness?
I mean, I think
he must have a weakness, but I can't think of what his real weakness would be.
I think they portrayed it like outside of like someone actually being stronger than his body.
Yeah.
Or like a weapon that could get to a certain temperature, possibly.
Yeah. During the show, there was something like that actually happened. But he still didn't kill him, though.
No.
But it was a great show. It was a great TV show for Netflix, and they canceled it because they're idiots. But remember his phrase? Anybody?
Sweet Christmas.
There you go. Sweet Christmas. And he was actually even a part of the Avengers. I think everybody was an Avenger. I think you were probably an Avenger at some point. I could have
been.
Everybody and their mother was part of the Avengers, apparently. And then we have Falcon. Who said Falcon? Was it you? Was it
I did.
He did.
All right. Tom's hero, Falcon, from Marvel Comics, Sam Wilson. And he actually worked with Captain America for years, obviously, and he actually joined the Avengers later. And I was never a big Falcon fan, though I will say in the Marvel Universe, the character is pretty cool. In the Marvel Universe, I liked how they did the wings, his wings for the movies. I like the mechanical aspect of it. And he was actually, I didn't know, was actually Captain America for a short time. So he actually held the shield, believe it or not. So that was kind of cool.
Was he post Bucky?
You know, that's a good question. That's a good question. You know the answer to that?
I do not. I'm a question guy more than
he asked the question but doesn't know the answer. Genius. I'm going to say yes, which means I'm probably wrong. But anyway, number 7, we have Storm. We all know who Storm is. She was the first. What's that, Tom?
I said, mm-hmm.
Oh, she was the first black member of the X-Men. Probably one of the most badass X-Men next to Wolverine. She's one of the first prominent black female superheroes and a total badass. Badass. Anybody who can create a storm and mess you up is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And I'm hearing that, I'm not reading the comics now, but I'm hearing that she might even be leading the X-Men now. I'm not totally sure about this, but she should be because she's awesome. She is a total badass. And then we have Black Lightning. Now, I hated Black Lightning as a kid. I despised him, couldn't stand him. And partly was because he was DC, and partly because he sucked. Now, he was a teacher / principal, depending on what era and where you watched it and read it from. And he was actually a member of the Justice League at one point. And most importantly, is a CW TV show, which I'm assuming still doing well. I don't know. I watched the first season. It was pretty good. I haven't watched one episode this year. I'm going to watch it, but I just haven't done it yet. But, yeah, it's Black Lightning. But the moment we've all been waiting for. Stop cheating and looking. The moment we've all been waiting for. You've all heard of him. He's the greatest superhero to have never lived. Lion Man. Soak it in, people. Lion Man. Come on. What? Nobody knows who he is? You don't have a clue who Lion Man is? Yeah, because nobody knows who the hell it is. It was the dumbest superhero on the planet.
It has nothing to do with the Thundercats, right?
Nope, nothing. That would have been cool. Thundercats were awesome. Lion Man is a piece of trash. But anyway, and to be serious for a moment, he was actually the first black comic book superhero, which is why he has such a stupid name. And he only had one issue. There was one issue. Guess the name of the comics.
All Negro Comics.
Oh, I knew Tom was black. I knew he was black.
A little bit.
Tommy, blackest white guy I know. Yes, All Negro Comics. And this was the first comic book known to be created by an all-black creators. Now, when it came out, I didn't look that up, and I should have, because now I'm thinking that would be cool to know this. I didn't do it. A second issue was never published, and that was because the creator, Evans, couldn't purchase the newsprint required to print the books. The reason why, speculation is that he was blocked from publishing by white-owned competitors. And you guessed it. If you think what I'm thinking, you're right. They later themselves published black-themed titles themselves and basically destroyed all Negro comics so they could reap the benefits. Typical white man screwing the black man over. That's how they roll.
So, that's the guy who couldn't name one hero.
I did one. I knew Black Panther.
So the Lion Man was from 1947.
Wow.
Yep.
I was just in the early 40s.
Yeah.
I was making that up. I would have said like late 30s, early 40s. Because it sounds old. You know what I mean? Like Lion Man.
Yeah, it does.
Today we create a comic book called Lion Man.
Yeah.
A 5-year-old child, maybe, but that's about it.
Yeah. Yep. July 15th of 1947.
A long time ago. All right. And the last one, but not least, probably one of the greatest superheroes ever, which, again, I was never a fan of as a kid. Black Panther, baby. Black Panther, who was going to win an Oscar this year. It's going to win an Oscar.
I hope so.
But they're going to win an Oscar. Bastards.
Has a superhero movie ever won an Oscar?
Well, that's what they're saying. This could be the first one ever to do it, actually.
Because if the Dark Knight trilogy couldn't do it.
Yeah, they suck. Even the white guy trying to be black. It was Black Panther, if you think about it. He was the first major mainstream black superhero. And he can be given credit for other superheroes to be given a chance. He was the first Black Avenger, which is a big thing. And he was actually a leader of the Fantastic Four. Never knew that. And his character is considered the smartest, most capable heroes in the whole Marvel universe. And if you see the movie last year, speaks for itself. Was a great, great movie. And there you have it, people. Your 10 black superheroes. Happy Black History Month. Now, we'll kind of discuss this off air, I believe. Do you guys have a favorite black superhero?
Yeah. Spawn and Blade are two of my absolute favorites. Spawn and Blade
wasn't on this list, but it should have been.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because
Iron Man.
So, do you have a black favorite superhero?
I'm gonna say it's due to the movie, but it's gonna be Black Panther.
Yeah. Well, it was a great movie. I mean, like I said, I was not a Black Panther fan growing up. Never was. I thought it was stupid, but after watching the movie, I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome. They did spent a lot of money on this movie.
Worth it.
Yes, definitely worth it. Now, one interesting thing here. There were 2 indie comic books on this list, Spawn and Lion Man, which Spawn, to me, is one of the greatest of all time, him and Black Panther. And there were 4 Marvel and 4 DC, which surprised me. I thought there'd be more Marvel than DC, but they both had 4 on this list. And I'm sure there's plenty more superheroes that were black that we didn't even mention.
Save it for next year.
What's that?
Save it for next year.
Yeah, right. My 2, like Tom, was Black Panther and Spawn. Now, we never really discussed this. 1, for you 2, do you prefer Marvel or DC? And 2, who are your favorite heroes? 1 hero from each one. Derek, you go first.
Well, for the movies, I would say it's Marvel, but I do like DC better. Don't know why, just do.
How about you, Tom?
I'm a Marvel guy personally. especially because of the movies. Like you said, they're just so much better. The Marvel universe is just fantastic. So, yeah, I'm a Marvel guy.
All right, Derek. Now, how about your favorite superhero from each?
For DC, it would be Superman. Grew up watching all the Superman shows, like The Adventures of Lois and Clark. Then when I got to middle school, it was Smallville.
Smallville was good. I like Smallville. How about your Marvel?
Marvel, I would have to say Spider-Man.
All right, Tom. How about you, my friend?
Can we pause for 1 second? Somebody's at my door.
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back.
Now, for this, you're aware, like the Spider-Man just came out with like another one, but it was the cartoon one, the Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I would actually want to see that.
So it's the Morales story.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize there was that many universes for Spider-Man, so I don't know if it's just for that story of Spider-Man or if there's actually that many Spider-Verse. Like kind of like with the Flash.
It came from the comics, so I'm sure there is.
Kind of was.
I know there was 2020, was it 2099 Spider-Man at one point?
Yeah.
I actually had that comic book, the original.
The only thing I hate they do though with every Spider-Man movie, whether it's like Spectacular Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man Homecoming, there's always an origin story of how he gets the powers. I'm like, can we just skip the origin story?
I think everybody in the world knows his origin story, even if they're not a Spider-Man fan. I think everyone can guess where he got his powers from.
Can we just continue with the villains? Like, and I know the second one, like the Amazing Spider-Man, is that Andy Garfield's Spider-Man? Was that one? Know. But like they kind of just stopped after they killed Gwen, when they could have just kept going and made it Spider-Gwen.
Right.
Which I thought that's what they were going to do with the third one, introduce Spider-Gwen and MJ kind of at the same time.
Right. They still can. There's still plenty of time.
But it'd be a new Spider-Man, so we'd have to have the origin story again.
Yep. There's always an origin story. I don't know why.
Like it's not just like Spider-Man's origin story. Like I just wish they would stop doing origin stories altogether, because every time there's a new Batman one, there's an origin story.
Yeah. And then there's, like you said, there's really no need for it. And the fact they feel like they have to keep doing it is like.
And it's always the same first villain that they pick.
Yeah. Probably because he's the most well known, I'm guessing, but still, do something different. Oh, he's back.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So, my favorite DC character was Superman, and Marvel's Spider-Man. And I go back and forth with Spider-Man. It's like Spider-Man A and maybe like Wolverine B kind of thing. But that would be Spider-Man. And my favorite movie was Tobey Maguire's original Spider-Man.
Very nice.
The first one too.
Yeah, the very first one. And I think it was because to me, that kind of started the whole genre up again, I think. To me, that they realized, wow, we can make money doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And we get the Avengers today because I think of Spider-Man. I think that's why it happened. It's my opinion. And what are you playing with, Tom?
I was just playing with my pop. I was thinking about what my favorite superheroes. So my favorite from Marvel, I like so many in Marvel. Recently, my most favorite is Jessica Jones. I really like Jessica Jones a lot. And that's because of the show. I'm not going to lie. It's because of the show. I out of all the Netflix shows that dropped, that is my favorite. Now, I also like Deadpool. I'm a big fan of Ant-Man. So it's kind of hard, but currently my favorite would be Jessica Jones. And then as far as DC goes, and now we laughed about it on our last episode, but growing up, my favorite was Aquaman.
It's still funny.
Yes, it is. I know, and it's ridiculous, and most people don't like him. But I don't know why. I like when I was a weird kid. I always liked
Superman underwater.
I always liked this
underwater. Nobody fights underwater though. That's the funny thing about it.
But hey, I mean, he controls 70% of the world. So
how's that working out for him?
Yeah. The only one in there.
He's got a new movie dropping soon, so I think it's going pretty well for him.
Another movie?
There has to be a second one.
Yeah,
it ended with them teasing a second one.
Yeah, they were teasing. I would assume. I'm just assuming, but yeah, they.
Okay. I think you knew something was coming out soon. I'm like, really?
Oh, no. But I mean, the way they and it did well and stuff. And
it did extremely well.
Plus, the other thing too, it also wouldn't be the first movie to tease a sequel and then just have the whole thing trash. But I don't think they do that.
That's why Marvel's so much better because, like I talked about last episode, that DC is getting away from bringing everyone together and they're keeping them separated, which is not a bad thing, but they're doing their own thing, So I don't know how that's going to play out.
I just wish it was the Dark Knight's Batman and the Justice League and not what we got.
Well, who do you guys think is going to be the new Batman?
Well, because I heard he's stepping down. He doesn't want to do it anymore.
It's been announced he is not doing the movie, and they've announced that it's as of right now, unless it changes, it's going to be a younger, new origin story of Batman.
Like I said, he was gone while we said this. Like every time they do a new one, is an origin story for the first movie. They need to stop that shit because everybody knows the damn origin story.
Yeah,
superhero.
I don't know who's gonna play him. I don't know if this has changed. Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker.
I just heard that he might not be doing it after all.
Oh, okay.
It was a rumor. I didn't verify it. I just read it, so it could be someone making it up. But that's what I saw online. It doesn't mean it's true, but I think he would be a badass Joker. But if they're doing a new Batman and a younger Batman, wouldn't you have to do a younger Joker? Like, why would you do an older Joker if you're doing a new Batman?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I mean, could it work with an older Joker? I don't know.
Well, he's got the makeup on anyway, so like, could you really tell?
True, it's a good point.
Kind of though. I mean, he's an older man, and older men have features and stuff that distinguish them as being old, as we all do. Like, I don't know how old you are, but me and Roy are getting old, and our faces and stuff look different than when we did when we were in our 20s and 30s. So
look forward to.
Hollywood can do some amazing shit to your face.
It's true. It's true.
Have you seen Joaquin Phoenix's face? They have to do a lot of shit to it.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Sit that down.
Cover up that hair lip of his.
Oh my God.
I mean, he's a great actor. I think he's a great actor, but he is weird looking.
Yeah. I would love him as the Joker.
He would be great.
He would be awesome.
He would be great.
All right, Derek, you're up, my friend. Derek, you're gonna talk about Vic Vagina. What?
Vic Vagina.
Mignogna.
Yeah, whatever you guys said. Some Asian dude.
I'm sure all the anime world is well aware because we spoke about it a little bit. I think I don't know if we spoke off air or maybe like said something last episode, or maybe I said it after we were done. I don't remember anymore.
Sure, why
not? He's been in the news for like the wrong reasons, the sexual abuse. He was just recently dropped a couple days ago from Rooster Teeth's show Ruby, and I just found out today he was cut by Funimation for one of the animes that he was currently working on with them. Don't know what's going to happen with him for Dragon Ball Super if that resumes with a new anime season.
So is he a voiceover guy?
He's a voice actor, but he also played on Star Trek. I don't watch Star Trek, so I'm not sure which season, but again, Google it.
Wait, what's he look like?
He's in his mid-50s.
Has he been doing like 1,000 of our cons?
Is
he a white guy?
Yes.
Yeah, he usually goes, I believe. The name you
know what? I think I know this guy.
I don't know if you've
I have to look him up.
If you've gone by his booth, though, I'm sure everyone's gonna know him from Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood because he played the main character, Edward Elric.
If it's who I'm thinking of, I know him pretty well actually. Because it's funny, you were talking about him being in Star Trek, and the guy I'm thinking of does anime, and he was in Star Trek.
Could be a match. But like I said, he's been in the news for that stuff. Some of the stories from the victims, or
it is him. I know this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been with several celebrities who happen to be near his table. And so I've gotten to know him pretty decently. Like, we're not like best friends. Hey, how you doing? But he remembers me. He says hi to me every year. And actually, this year was the first year I didn't see him. Was he the other thing,
He didn't go this year.
He did. Okay.
With all this in the recent news, like he has been blacklisted from some of the Comic-Cons or anime conventions. I'm sure now that it's resurfaced again and there's more allegations, probably staying out of the Comic-Con.
It's crazy. Howard Weinstein blows up and like all this stuff comes out,
Yeah, well,
Howard Weinstein started this all, and
you
now
have
it's
to go all the way back to probably the first allegation, and then because that's all it takes, one person to step forward, and then you hear a whole bunch of other stories. The most common thing I've seen with the stories that I was looking up on the articles from like Anime News Network and some of the other ones that pop up on my Facebook is he was taking a photograph or a video, but for like the pictures, he was kissing the fan without consent. Now, that's between Vic and the fans, whether or not those allegations are true or not. I saw one. It was he was at a convention. He was at a panel, and the person that was moderating
it. In case anyone's wondering what's behind me, I just realized we have a light back here that was never turned on.
I don't think we need it.
No, we don't need it. But I was like, "What is that behind me?" Oh, it's a light. Anyway, sorry, I'm destroying Derek's segment here. Sorry, Derek.
So, like in the video, he jumps on like the moderator, like for like a piggyback ride or whatever, or like he just like on his shoulders, sitting on his shoulders. And I guess the guy that said that particular moderator said like he was cool with it at first because it was like it's a celebrity. Didn't think anything of it, just went along with it because he was a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess the more he thought about it or whatever, then he was like, oh, that wasn't cool and whatever. Because I guess when he said he mounted him, like he was, he said it was like rubbing against his neck, which I guess if you're on someone's shoulders,
you're getting real choppy.
I don't know if it's on purpose or not.
Was that Tom?
He said,
never mind.
Like we're fading in and out of the voice.
The voice was going crazy for a minute, but it's fine now. It was just going crazy for a second.
Okay. So like all those stories are like they're in the articles. People form their own opinions. It sucks that it's affecting his work now. Whether and I don't know if any of them have been proven true or proven false, and then like I know this damages the reputation. And I want to say that the last thing I saw today about this were he had a tweet, I guess, for the fans that were supporting him, because nothing's proven yet. They were getting threats from the fans saying that he did it and all this other stuff. And his tweet was just saying like, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but we don't need like there's no need for like the violence for this kind of a situation.
Right. Crazy.
Yes, dude. I don't
down, Derek. It was pretty awesome of you.
I got an autograph and a picture with him.
Yeah.
I had a great experience. He signed the first volume of the Full Metal Alchemist manga for me. I was cosplaying, not from that show. I was cosplaying from Attack on Titan.
Right.
But it was a good experience, and if he was at conventions, I'd go see him again.
All right, Tom.
Boy, They just got brought way down by that, man. I don't like hearing stuff like that.
Who brought this guy into the mix?
I like to hear that, but
news story. It's not the best news story, but it's relevant. Is like obviously that's affecting Comic-Cons that are going on.
Yeah,
and anime
it's
conventions.
big news.
It's big news.
Other voice actors and people that I know voice their opinions.
Well, I told you guys a story last episode, didn't I, about how I got involved with the Comic-Con?
Yeah.
The reason, things happen, and there's always a bad side to everything.
I mean, like, I personally hope none of this is true, and it was just
right.
like misinterpretation of the situation.
And let's say it's not true for a moment. It's almost just as bad the other way, because his life's ruined.
Yep.
I can't hear you guys.
Was that?
Can you hear us now?
Your voice real choppy, going in and out.
How about now?
No, not right. No.
You're not hearing anything at all?
Oh, here we go. Now you're good.
How good am I?
Yeah, it's perfect again now. So it just like, I don't know. Every once in a while, it just goes in and out like that. I don't know why.
Yeah, if it does, just let us know. Because I can try to edit it.
Well, we can edit it, and whether or not we can upload it to YouTube's another story.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, we get that one up. We can do it.
Wait, the edited version finally went up?
No.
Oh.
We haven't edited it.
The first episode? Yeah, I edited it. We took out 2 or 3 minutes.
I think you didn't do it. It never went up.
No, that's what I was saying. Like, we couldn't upload it for some reason. It was saying that it was the wrong file. Remember,
for some reason,
we did it with MP4.
For some reason, but we'll talk about this afterwards. People don't want to listen to this crap. All right, so Indy Comics.
Oh, I thought you were saying something with my story.
No,
you're done with it.
No, are you done with your story?
Oh, I was done with it, but I thought you was in the middle.
Oh, no.
With like,
we're going to go into Indy Comics.
I thought you were in the middle of saying something before.
I could have been. I don't know. It's been a long 6 years of my life. All right, Tom, you're up.
All right, so the last thing I was going to talk about this week, and just for my friends that are wondering, I am going to talk more about Pops in upcoming episodes. I'm into Pops, and a lot of my friends are, when are you going to talk more about Pops? When are you going to talk more about Pops? These are our first couple episodes, guys, so we're trying to get into the swing of things and talk about a lot of stuff, but don't worry, I will talk about Pops.
And our production will improve, everybody. We will improve.
Yes. Quality will get better. Everything will get better. So just be patient. Hopefully next week I'll have a little something on Pops, and then or next episode, and on top of the other topics I talk about.
Derek will have something more positive and fun to say.
Yes,
but this was all over my Facebook feed for like the last week and a half.
That's cool.
I'm glad you told me. I mean, it's new.
Yeah.
It's important, and I mean, it's depressing, but I mean, if he is doing those things, he should be exposed. That's how I feel. If he's not,
we're not going to hold him back because we had good experiences with him. If someone does shady stuff, we'll bring it up.
Yeah, exactly. So the last thing I was going to talk about this week. Briefly, 2 little things while I was doing my research on the cons that I wanted to just kind of talk. Just say, I want to say happy birthday to Sesame Street. It's turning.
Hey, happy birthday.
It's turning 50 years old, and yeah, and this is just random. I just saw this, but Coca-Cola is coming out with a new flavor, their first flavor in 10 years. It's going to be orange vanilla.
I knew it was coming out.
See, I remember Pepsi doing that with the twist, which lasted for like maybe a year.
Yeah.
And it was like Pepsi. It was regular Pepsi with it was orange and vanilla and black cherry and vanilla.
When I've gone to Five Guys or something like that, I like getting the favorite.
Oh, yeah.
I don't drink that much anymore, but
that's why I like Wendy's, because they have like every single flavor of soda in there. Just mix and match.
Yes. Pretty cool.
There isn't 32 flavors of Dr. Pepper, though.
They
lie.
Yeah, so it's the first new flavor in 10 years. The first flavor since Vanilla Coke. And the reason they did it was because last year they introduced a couple new Diet Coke flavors that brought their sales way up. Then two of the flavors were ginger lime and zesty blood orange. So yeah, so they're and expect more flavors to come out. Now I know it has nothing to do with the comics, but I saw it and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So yeah. So the last thing I was going to talk about, guys, was I said Indy Comics, in particular, Fight Club 3 by Chuck Palahniuk just dropped. And you guys will get to, as you get to know me, will realize that I'm a Chuck Palahniuk nut. I mean, I buy everything of his, even the stuff, like some of his newer stuff, which isn't that great. Like some of his newer novels, they aren't as good, you know, but I just, you know, from the point I saw Fight Club, read it, and then read Invisible Monsters, I've just been a Chuck Palahniuk nut. Just a couple things. I have a signed Chuck Palahniuk arm that I love. And yeah, again, I have all his books in my house, all his comics, all the variant covers. And yeah, so Fight Club 3 just dropped, which he did. Most of you guys know Fight Club was originally a book, and then it became a movie with Brad Pitt and Edward Norton, and did really well. Kind of, you know, it was a hit and everything. So then he decided 10 years later, he decided to continue the story, and he did so in comic book form. It was called Fight Club 2, and it was 10-episode miniseries. And it was awesome. It was awesome. If you're a fan of Fight Club, it was just so good. And yeah, it came out last year, and I was reading it, and then I was like, oh, this is so great. So I looked up to see if Fight Club 3 was coming out, and it had already been written before the episode 6 of Fight Club 2 had come out. So, but then they waited over a year because the artist who does David, I believe, yeah, David Mack is the artist that he works with primarily. He works with other artists, but that's the main art guy. He had other projects going on, so it took him a while to draw everything. So it was over a year for the latest Fight Club 3 to come out. Now, the first issue dropped on January 30th, and it is so good, guys. So good. If you're a fan of Chuck Palahniuk, a fan of Fight Club, I really suggest getting Fight Club 2. Now, like I said, it's a 10 series.
I thought the first rule is you don't talk about Fight Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom.
And then you can actually buy Fight Club 2 if you don't want to hunt down all 10 comics. They did make a book form of it. I have all the comics and the book. Obviously, I'm a nut. So, and then you should definitely jump on Fight Club 3. So good. I don't want to give any spoilers away or anything like that. And it's only the first episode, first issue. So,
what about Fight Club 1? Do they have a book for that?
What's that?
Do they have a book for Fight Club 1?
Yeah, I have it. Hang on. So there's been a lot of copies made of it and everything. But yes, Fight Club 1, it was originally a novel, and then it became the movie. So yeah, so you can pick up all of them if you know, on Amazon. You can get an issue of Fight Club very cheap if you want to read it, reread it, never read it, and you know, saw the movie. It's very close to the movie. It's one of the best adaptations from book to movie that I've ever seen on how close it was. So yeah, so check out Fight Club 2 and 3. And just on a side note on that, if you are a fan of Fight Club 1, 2, or 3, he also did a mini story of that follows Tyler Durden, the main character, Brad Pitt from the movies, called it was a short story called Expedition that he released on vinyl a couple years ago. And it's very short. You can actually read it, I believe, on Mashable and a couple other sites. If you do a Google search, you could read it. But if you want to listen to it, it's Chuck Palahniuk narrates it, and it's a good little side story. So yeah, so if you're a fan of Fight Club, or indie comics in general, definitely check those out, guys. And just real quickly, you know, a guy I work with, he watched our first episode, and he's a big comic guy, and he was like, what other comics are you into? So I'm not going to go in depth. I'm just going to show you. Currently, I'm reading Stabby Bunny on Scout Comics. Very good. Very good. The Beauty on Image. We talked about Image earlier. This is issue. There's like 30 issues of it. It's really great. It's about a sexually transmitted disease that makes people beautiful.
What?
Yeah, it makes
a positive one.
It makes like a porn.
It makes people beautiful, but after so long of having the disease, they spontaneously explode.
Oh, nice.
So
the comic book.
Yeah, if you ever want to borrow them, I have all the issues so far. I got to catch up. And then I'm always reading Outcast, Robert Kirkman. It was a Cinemax show for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Was that?
I like that show.
Yeah, I did too. It got canceled.
Yeah, I was so mad when that happened.
Yeah, I liked it too. I love the comics. It's Kirkman. You know, everybody knows Robert Kirkman, The Walking Dead, everything like that.
I didn't know it was Kirkman. That's a surprise. That I didn't know.
You didn't know it was Kirkman?
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah, yeah. Robert Kirkman.
Walking Dead, that starts tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's right. Walking Dead's back.
Yeah, can't wait. And then another one I'm reading is Ice Cream Man. It's another Image comic. As you've seen, I'm a big into Image
guy.
Image, Dark Horse, and Scout are my 3 favorite indie comics.
Cool.
Dark Horse is awesome. Dark Horse. Oh, but I should have said that. Dark Horse is who puts out the Fight Club 2 and 3.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, they put out Fight Club 2 and 3. So yeah, so Ice Cream Man, cool story. Check it out. There's 8, 9 issues right now, and obviously, as you can see, I read a lot at once. I get bored quick, and I jump from comic to comic. A new one that just came out, I believe they're on issue 3 now. It's called The Source. Very cool. A friend of mine at work is the one that told me about it. It's a Scout comic again. You like indie comics? It's very cool. And then, you know, I'm going to skip a couple of these because I don't. The last one I'll talk about is I am a huge. I love the new. So Archie Comics has come out with Archie Horror, and they did the first one was called Afterlife with Archie, and it was a zombie invasion in Riverdale, and it was really cool. Then there's been some issues about the rights and stuff, so there was like 12 issues and stuff, and then they had to stop it because the parent company of Archie didn't like Archie being associated in the horror genre or something like that. But then they came out with Sabrina, which some of you might remember the original Sabrina the Teenage Witch back in
Netflix.
Is this the new one, the Netflix?
Yeah. I'll talk about the new one. Now, Roy, you probably remember the older one, right?
Right.
Why can't I remember the older one?
You're just a baby. You don't know.
So the newer one, it's a much darker take on it. It's much more adult and stuff. So that was.
Was it really? I thought it was going to be a cheesy adaptation of the TV show.
No, it's much darker. It deals with like they're members of the Church of Satan, and it
is it on Netflix now?
Yeah, on Netflix. The first season and the holiday special dropped on Netflix, and then season 2 will be sometime this year. Awesome, guys. Awesome. So definitely check that out. And then they've come out with some other ones that aren't as popular, but they're still I still read them because I'm a horror nut. It's called Jughead the Hunger, and Jughead's a werewolf. And then they have one called Vampironica, and Hanukkah is a vampire. And the latest one to drop, and I haven't read it yet, but it's in my pile right now, is Blossom 666. About the Blossoms. So I'll let you know in the future how it goes. But yeah, so if you like horror or you like Archie or you like both, check out the Archie horror comics. They're really good.
You have to do this.
And
yeah, well, I will.
So you guys have any questions about any of these or anything? Or
I like horror comics.
What's that?
I like horror comics.
I do too. I'm huge into horror comics, man. I love them.
I haven't bought in a while, but now you get me want to go out and buy some comics now. Thanks a lot.
Oh no! Next time you go out, you're gonna come back with like 5 comic books and 3 pops.
Oh, they have pops there too. There's one right across town. It's funny. I go across town the last few days for some issues, whatever, and I drive by a huge comic book store, and I keep forgetting to stay. It's like, oh, I'm gonna have to pop in one of these places this week. So now you might be spending money, Tom. I just did my taxes too.
Yeah, I know. I got my taxes, and it's like I've already purchased 2 expensive, well, not expensive, but pops that I didn't need, but I wanted. And then I was talking to a guy about it, and then I saw my tax return came in, and I was like, I think I'll buy those.
All the pops.
Well, actually, back on pops for me before we do the last thing. I was going to bring up earlier, but we're getting other things, whatever. Talk about pop prices. Have you seen? I don't know if you guys. Well, I know you guys probably are. I know Derek probably isn't. But like the sports pops.
Yes.
A couple of Patriots ones. That's right. 6-time champs.
6-time champ. New England Patriots, baby.
6 times.
6 times.
I got the set with it's a 3 set. It's Brady, Edelman, and Gronk.
You have that,
dude. You know how much that is worth?
No.
Over $100.
Looks like I got some money.
Yeah.
I think I only paid 30 for it.
I saw it online. I don't know if it was Amazon for like $100.
Yeah, the last time I checked, and like Stashopedia, like we kind of talked about, it jumps. Stashopedia jumps a lot more than price.
Stashopedia.
Stashopedia. It's actually, you can download the app, and you can actually put your collection into it, and that's what I did. So if you go to the App Store and type in Stashopedia,
yeah,
and then you can set it all up, and you can start tracking your collection, which I find great. So I open the app up, and then
I have the other one.
What's that?
I have the other one. The what's the other? Popsomething.com.
Well,
yeah,
now that you said it, I looked it up.
Pop price guide, yeah.
The Edelman, Brady, and Gronk one is valued at $101 on Stashpedia.
Yep, that's what I saw the other day, because I have my collection on Stashopedia, and I have a couple of sports pops. I actually picked up the newer LeBron James ones with him in the Laker jersey. I'm not a LeBron James fan, but it's like it was a big deal.
Some of my collection right around that one has also jumped up in price.
Stop bragging.
Well, because he said My Hero Academia before. I got the All Might one, the glow in the dark one. I think that's valued at $202.
Yeah, dude. So many people want that one, dude. It's huge right now.
That one in the Trafalgar Law from One Piece. I think that one's valued at $133.
Yeah, that Trafalgar Law is up there too. It's funny you saying all these, because it's like I'm in this online group. And yeah, anime is huge right now. And
it's funny because like when I did this a month ago for Christmas, they were all like $12 to $20 or $50 at the most. But like even Sasuke from Naruto's at $52 now.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
They're huge right now. The all anime pop. It's hard being a collector like myself right now, because everything's anime all the time. And like I'm just not into anime. Everybody's going nuts over it, and I like my horror pops, and I like the stuff that I'm interested in. And then
see, I'm with you. Horror, sports.
And my friend said he's going to PAX East, which is the convention.
Very cool.
I think they're gonna have the Jiren pop from Dragon Ball Super there.
Yeah,
and I think that's gonna be a big one.
It's in Boston at the waterfront, right?
I think it's at the waterfront.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Everyone asks me if I'm ever going to that one, and every time I say, "Oh, when is it?" and I'm like, "Oh, it's sold out." Then I guess I'm not going.
Where is it? PAX East?
It's in Boston on the waterfront. This year.
Yeah, because PAX South just happened. Yeah, PAX South, and they had the Jiren. I don't know how you say it. Pots there. I know that.
All right. Well, so since we've been babbling along, let's get into this last subject here.
Yeah.
So I know people are anticipating my review of this movie. Sitting on the edge of that chair, it's like, oh, we can't wait. So everyone, I'm going to review Solo, a Star Wars story. And I'm a huge Star Wars guy. Since I remember going to the drive to see Star Wars, like I am a Star Wars nut. And it's definitely my thing. And we figured for our first movie review, we do Star Wars. Why the hell not? We'll do all kind of movies. We'll do some anime movies, horror movies. There's all kinds of pop culture type stuff. But let's get into this real quick. The movie came out May 25th, 2018. And as far as the budget, the production budget reportedly was at $275 million.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah. And reportedly, again, it grossed over $392 million. And people were saying, and I don't know who these people were, but they were saying that they would have had to make $500 million to actually make money on this movie. So they're saying they lost money.
Okay, so when you say the budget, does that include the actor's payroll?
I'm just telling you what this in the budget is. It didn't say specifics. It didn't break it down. It just gave it an overall thing. And as it got reviewed, in IMDb surprisingly gave it a 7 out of 10. And Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 70%, which to me, from what people were saying, those are pretty damn good reviews. Because I was hearing mixed reviews about this movie, and for a Ron Howard directed movie, I was kind of surprised that.
But some of those negative reviews, you gotta wonder if that ties into it. Obviously, not being it's a different person playing Han Solo.
Well, and that was my issue also. Was how do I feel about some new guy playing Han Solo? So speaking of Han Solo, the actor that plays him, his name is Alden Ehrenreich. And, I'll get into him a little bit. I don't want to get right now. But he was in a few movies before then. He was in Tetro in 2009, Twixt in 2011, both Francis Ford Coppola films. He was also in Beautiful Creatures and Hail Caesar, which I was like, really? So I'm kind of impressed by that. And Chewbacca. This is another thing, I'm getting used to not having Peter Mayhew playing Chewbacca.
No offense, but isn't it just...
Was that?
It's just a noise, though.
Yeah, it's Jonas Suotamo. Let's say that fast 5 times. Chewbacca. He's from Finland. Was a basketball player in Finland. Everyone knows him by now. He was in The Last Jedi, Force Awakens, and like I said, I like him as Chewbacca now. I'm getting used to him. But like Derek said, the sound's a little different, but I think he's doing a good job. It is what it is. You can't have people from the original films playing the original cast forever because they're all getting older. Now, one character that bugged me was Beckett, played by Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it was the writing, if it was Woody Harrelson being in the movie. And I love Woody Harrelson. I love the game movies he's been in. He's been in White Man Can't Jump, Indecent Proposal, Hunger Games, Natural Born Killers.
NBK.
Yes. I like those movies. They were good movies. But he did not do this for me in this movie. Didn't do it at all. I didn't care about the character.
Is it a new character?
It's a new character. I thought, did you really need him in the movie? I don't know. Could they have done something different and have one less character in the movie? Possibly. But it is what it is. He was in the movie, but that character didn't do anything for me. Now, on the flip side, when I heard that Donald Glover was playing Lando Calrissian, I was kind of like, I don't know. And I love Donald Glover. He did a tremendous job, in my opinion.
Fantastic.
Yes, he was. When I watched him play the character, that's how I would have envisioned Lando as a young guy. That's totally how I can see him being. It was unbelievable. He nailed it. He brought the character to life. He showed what Lando probably was like when he was younger, and that's something. Obviously the Beckett character, he was in other movies, but if we never see him again, I don't care. Don't blame me at all. And just so you guys know, I'm not going to give away anything in the movie, just in case there are a few people that haven't seen it that might want to see it. So I won't give away much, if anything, in this movie. So don't worry about that. As far as the movie itself goes, it was a good movie. I liked it. It had funny moments. They actually had a car chase, aka land speeder chase. Typically, your typical Star Wars gun battles, which are always pretty cool. You like hearing those, those sounds. Pretty awesome.
Nobody gets hit.
Nobody gets hit. Yep. Light bounces off them. They had the cool double crosses in the movie that you're like, oh, they're screwed, and then boom, things happen. When you first see the Millennium Falcon, if you're a Star Wars fan, you had to be like, oh, that was a great, amazing scene. That gave me chills. The Millennium Falcon, to me, is like one of the greatest spaceships in anything and everything existing. It's unbelievable. And as far as the movie itself, the stories, some of the stories within the movie, I didn't buy, like the Chewbacca solo meeting. Tom, you saw the movie.
Yeah,
about this too. Of course, they had to have an introduction somehow. It was okay. I thought it'd be better. I thought it would be, I don't know, more exciting. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but how did you feel about their meeting?
Again, it was a little underwhelming. It like you said, it could have been a little more interesting. That said, I didn't think it was terrible, but it was just, right. I feel like first of all, some like when Chewbacca's hitting him, that should have put a hole in his chest.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like tossing him around and they're going in the height, and like, so that kind of took me out of it a little bit because right. Like he's a Wookiee, everybody's afraid of him. He's a beast down in a pit, and Han Solo gets dropped down and is going toe to toe with the guy.
Right, but Tom is giving away stuff, just so you know.
And
but it wasn't Roy, it was Tom.
Yeah, it was me.
You said you wouldn't give anything. You didn't say about the rest of us.
That's true.
Exactly. That's true. And so yeah.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way you did. It was kind of like, And as far as the Solo, the main character, I actually liked him. I didn't think I would because I'm a Harrison Ford guy. I love Harrison Ford, and when I first heard they were doing this, I was like, nope, not going to see it, can't do it. And then I ended up going to see it, watching it, obviously, because it's Star Wars, and I knew I would in the long run anyway. Mm-hmm. The one problem I had was his voice. Did his voice seem kind of high pitched to you?
A little bit. Honestly, I'm going to tell you, I liked him, but I'm a Harrison Ford guy as well. I like Harrison Ford, but I liked him right off the bat. I thought he had a good look, yeah. And it was believable that he was younger. Yeah. He could have been a younger Harrison Ford, yep. Almost. I can
throw me off. The voice did throw me off.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. It is higher, and Harrison Ford has such a distinct voice.
And how do you replicate that?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Here's my question. I haven't watched the movies. I haven't watched all of the movies.
You should have watched this movie. You knew we were doing a review on it. Anyway.
Now, what's the age difference as to Harrison Ford's Solo in the first movie versus this character's Solo?
You say about 10 years?
Yeah, I would say at least 10 years. At least 10 years.
If anyone listening and that knows this answer, comment below and let us know this question. We'll
so is he supposed
bring it up next week. But I want to say around 10 years. And I'm guessing.
So does that mean he's still supposed to be like a teenager in this? Or is he supposed to be at least 21 by now?
I would say early 20s.
Yeah.
Very early 20s, like early 20s. That's my guess. 2021.
Yeah, I would say that because then it jumps 3 years, afterwards. So yeah, that makes about sense because then he would be 25-ish and stuff. Yeah, that's my guess. I don't know. Like Roy said, if you know, please comment.
Yes, let us know this because Derek throws out weird questions.
That was just to try to guestimate. Like, well, if he's supposed to be like a teenager, then he obviously.
Derek's never seen the movies. Can you believe that?
Any of them or
none of them?
No. I've seen 7 and 3 in their entirety.
You've seen 7 and 3.
3, you're talking about Return of the Jedi, right?
Of all time, you should see 4, 5, and 6.
Well, I love my Jedi. Roommate and leave in the middle, like literally at the end of 7, and be like, "Oh, what happened?" And
well, if you want to come up and do a movie night, dude, we can do a movie night. I'll watch Star Wars.
That one is Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back. That's my favorite.
Me too. I loved Empire Strikes Back.
So good.
Yep.
Out of all, the best.
Bits and pieces of all the movies.
But back to Solo real quick. What'd you think of the music in that bar scene when that woman was singing?
All right, I'm gonna keep this brief because this freaking all the music scenes and all the Star Wars movies irk me to no end. Oh my!
Really?
Yes, I don't like whenever they're in a bar and there's a band play. It makes me cringe. It's like he took a bottle of Cheese Whiz and just spread it all over the top of the movie.
It ain't that bad.
In that alien culture, it's probably great music.
Well, actually, I like the music mostly, but in this movie, I totally hated it.
Yeah,
this music was totally horrible, totally unbelievable. Like in a horrible way, like just I don't know how many made the final cut. It should have been cut from the movie. It should have been like, what the hell is this crap that we're playing here? Cut it. We'll dub something else in. That would have been a lot better than playing this music. I cannot believe that nobody complained about this music whatsoever. I'm shocked by this. But that being said, overall, I enjoyed the movie. It was your typical what you could have expected from a Han Solo movie. So, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot that was like, wow, he did that when he was younger. It was a typical movie. It was kind of generic, which was, I guess, one of the complaints about it. But I did like it. They could have been a whole lot worse. And I actually gave it a 6 out of 10 as a rating. What would you have given it, Tom?
Probably about... Honestly, it exceeded my expectations. I'm not going to lie. I told Roy this over text, and I don't tell people this that often. I haven't really been a fan since Return of the Jedi. I really haven't. That's not to say they're all bad. I just wasn't a huge fan. But this one, I would go 6.5 to 7, honestly. Yeah, somewhere in there. It exceeded my expectations, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would.
That's awesome. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it also. But that's the movie, our first movie review. And before we go, did anybody watch Arrow last week?
No.
Oh, you losers. They did the Emerald Archer episode, and you guys missed it?
I have it recorded. I just don't get to watch TV until Tuesday.
Then we'll discuss it when you guys watch it. Do you guys have any final comments you want to tell the fans? Today, or...
No, I mean, I'm good. You guys need to see that movie Glass so we can talk about that on here. That was a great movie. I saw it this week. Check that out.
Wait, what about you,
just to follow up on the last episode when I talked about Kingdom Hearts. Now that it's out, I've played roughly 13 hours of gameplay into it, so I'm guessing roughly halfway done with the game. and the graphics in the game are amazing. When they do their cutscenes, because it is Pixar, so it's already animated to begin with. When you're interacting with those characters, you almost can't tell that it's a game. It's almost like you're interacting with the movie characters, like in the movie.
That's awesome.
I didn't finish the Frozen level yet. They called it Arendelle for the place that it takes place in. They actually played the whole cutscene of Let It Go, and they have the character that you play as Sora, Donald, and Goofy watching in awe as she's transforming from when they first met her, when she's like scared of her powers running away from the castle, to the Let It Go thing where she's starting to embrace the powers.
Nice.
More upbeat than my last topic.
Yeah, a little better. Jesus.
But even though I haven't finished it yet, I'm still going to say it's game of the year, in my opinion.
Really?
Yep.
Well,
sorry, Spider-Man.
Sorry, Spider-Man. All right. Well, that's the show for today, everybody. For Tom and Derek, you guys have a good night. And please leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think of our show, what topics you guys want us to talk about, and all that good stuff. So let us know what you all think. You guys have a good night. Stay out of trouble.